Well, I'm going to introduce the one and only.
Yes.
Yes.
There's one seat right on.
Makes me wished I'd grown up here and known you longer, because I just learned about you really only 2 years ago. And I love your music. It's such a mix of everything that I love, and I think is sort of deep within all of us. And I think you're probably going to do a mix of all of it, right? Yes, yes. And I know they all love you, so I'm just thrilled that you're here to bless my cottage. And without further ado, Jim Hinton and his
I've been so looking forward to this night for a long time. Because I just knew it was going to be really, really fun and really special, and so happy to be here. I'm going to start off with a song by the man written by the man who is probably my biggest inspiration and role model in music. A gentleman named Robin Williamson, who way back in the 1960s, in fact he had a song called that, was the co-founder of the Incredible String Band. And I'll be talking about them more later. And I had the good fortune of getting to know Robin when he came to California in the 1970s. And this is one of the songs he wrote back then. It's called The Tune I Hear So Well. And this song brings back images of a night that my wife Sherry and I spent in England, in Devonshire, a couple of years ago, going to see Robin play a concert in this place, little town called Skoriton. Don't try to find it on the map, it's not there. And so we drove down all these mysterious roads on a dark night in the rain. And we finally found the Skoriton Town Hall, which was like, it was a wonderful concert. But the first line of the song says, "With a stranger's frown, I came to town." I wasn't really frowning, but I kind of had that feeling that night. So this is The Tune I Hear So Well. Stranger's frown, I came to town, riding in a car, with a bloody rose in my lapel, whiskey in the jar, and all I've left behind me to remind me what I am is plain boiled potatoes and the blood of the lamb. With all the words that I have heard, I don't see how I'll tell, and I don't see how I'll ever play the tune I hear so well. Now the nursemaid has her coup de grace, and the nun her cup of gall. And the young girls have their silks and satins, the old maid has her shawl. The judge his book, the boxer's bell, the butcher his sweet smile, and a rhyme must have a reason, when time must have a while. But with all the words that I have heard, I don't see how I'll tell, and I don't see how I'll ever play the tune I hear so well. has a vision, and the lazy have their sleep. And the dream that I dreamed on this world was long and dark and deep. And when I awoke, I broke my fast, drinking at the still by the bright stars of morning on the road behind the hill. But with all the words that I have heard, I don't see how I'll tell, and I don't see how I'll ever play the tune I hear so well. And with all the words that I have heard, I don't see how I'll tell, no, I don't see how I'll ever play the tune I hear so well. I'm going to play, this is a fairly new song for me. I was up in Los Angeles last May. I get to travel a great deal due to my wife Cheryl's professional career. She gets sent all kinds of places, and I just, you know, go along and keep her company. So I was staying in the Western Bonaventure, some of you know that hotel, in Los Angeles, and had a view out the window of the old LA Public Library down there. And of course, in the hotel room, they had all these vintage pictures on the wall of the old streetcar lines in Los Angeles. And when my father, although he was born and grew up in Arizona, he spent a lot of time in Los Angeles with his aunt. And he would tell me stories about getting on the streetcar line, going down to Santa Monica and so forth. So just sitting up there, I was looking out the window, and one of the mornings this song came to me. I know I had a discussion with Brenda several months ago at Crystal's concert about songwriting and about how sometimes I don't know where songs come from when they come. Later on, I find out because they're telling me something, you know. It's sort of like, you know, writing in a diary, and you go back and you read it and you learn something from it. So this song was actually titled by Richard Pollard when he filmed me at this song was not complete when you made that YouTube video. I was working on it, but he called it the City of Angels. I said, okay, that's fine. And as time went on, I was thinking about this song, and I've always had a tendency to tear up rather easily. Most notably, I remember like one time listening to the radio in the car with my daughter, and along came, I think it was Debbie Reynolds singing Tammy. And I exposed, oh, you're not crying at this, are you? So anyway, there's all kinds of layers of stuff. We're still trying to figure this song out, but it's called The City of Angels. Clouds on the mountain, the clear crystal fountain, all the crows have been counting, say, let the tears fall. The wind in the willow, the sun on my pillow, and the afternoon shadows say, let the tears fall. Sadness is beautiful, the heart's love is bountiful, in the Mother of Heaven she'll be calling her children home. I'm traveling my way, Pacific Coast Highway, all the waves on the water say, let the tears fall. Remember sunset, the big blue Pacific, the seraphim sighing say, let the tears fall. When sadness is beautiful, the heart's love is bountiful, then the mother of heaven, she'll be calling the children home. Sort of an embarrassing thing to have happen, but it happens.
I'm going to put you back there. Okay.
Are you sure you can go here too?
And then I'm going to go back there with you.
Okay. I can go right.
This was sold out.
I'm going to do for you next a song that I wrote it several years ago, and it's gotten a lot of good response. I'm really gratified. It's called Hippies.
Yes!
And I mean, you know, from one thing, it's very meaningful to play in Ocean Beach.
That's true.
Because
Yes.
I mean, Ocean Beach. You know, I grew up around this town, and back in the late '60s, you know, I spent a lot of time down here in Ocean Beach because it was a very cool place to go. And actually, going back to my father, he used to spend his vacations. His family from Arizona, they would come to Ocean Beach way back in the 1930s and 40s. And also back here. Back in 1971, I was dating my now wife, Sherry. I had a place over on Del Mar Avenue, a few blocks away from here. And so anyway, there's a lot of meaning here. And a lot of it has to do with sort of the whole mystique of the hippies. And as the years had gone by, I mean, I never really considered myself a hippie. I thought that was just sort of an odd term. And but as the years went by, and I watched people with movies and so forth try to kind of capture that era, and I thought they all missed the mark as far as I was concerned, because I remember it as being an era of there was a lot of changes going on, but there was a lot of intellectual things, a lot of very spiritual things, a lot of art and music. That was sort of like the keystone of it, you know. And in fact, I've heard several people commenting, Brenda, on your looking at the books in your library, saying that you can tell about a person by the books in their library. And I address that in this song. You'll hear when it comes around. And this also kind of introduces like another topic that is really dear to me, which, you know, locations play a big role in my music. And this is a Big Sur song, because I first went there when I was a kid in 1959. And I loved it, and I went back there when I was in college at UC Santa Cruz, and spent a lot of time hitchhiking through Big Sur, and so it's always a big part of my what I consider like beautiful in this world. So here's Hippies. I saw an old couple get out of a van. They gazed at the ocean. They stood hand in hand. In the 50s or 60s, you couldn't be sure. They were driving the highway down through Big Sur. Her hair was tied back in a long silver braid. On her shoulders the shawl her best friend once made. His hair, it was gray, and his beard, it was thin. He feels like a kid in most every way. Lovely old hippies, still dreaming free. I follow them down the path to the sea. Lovely old hippies, don't fade away. Help me remember my younger days. After a childhood of communist fear and TV, cowboys and Khrushchev and Leave It at Beaver, laughing like hell with his friends getting high. It was all so insane, no one could deny. The philosophy majors were starting a band. They were hitchhiking around, getting close to the land, staying out of the draft, stepping into the wind. It was always a journey about to begin. When she was a young girl, so pretty and free, a real flower child, she was something to see. She was naked as nature and warm like the sun. Her skin it was gold and her eyes full of fun. And she lived her life like a work of art. Her movements reflected the love in her heart. She was humble and confident, into the flow. She knew how to say yes, she knew when to say no. Oh, you pretty young hippies, how will you survive this crazy world? It's gonna eat you alive. Oh, you pretty young hippies, just wait and see. Someday you'll find love's never free. Well, they listened to the Beatles and the Boys from the Beach, the Incredible String Band, and Donovan Leitch. There were spoonfuls of love, there were zeppelins of lead, Bob Dylan, the Doors, the Kinks, and the Dead. And Buffy St. Marie, Claude Debussy and Ravel, Judy Collins was singing, Leonard Cohen and Jacques Brel, Vashti Bunyan, Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, the band, doing dancing beneath October skies to the van. And they read Hermann Hesse and Khalil Gibran, Kerouac, Castaneda's Don Juan. They read Yogananda, they read Be Here Now, the Bhagavad Gita, I Ching, and the Tao. And Alicia Baylor and Omar Khayyam, Emerson Thoreau and Tolkien, and then the long-haired Christ with his gospel of love, with a spiritual bite, fit the times like a glove. Oh, you know it all, hippies. Don't be naive. This world doesn't care what you believe. Oh, you know it all, hippies. This is the deal. Someday you're gonna have to get real. And the political issues were always complex. They were talking about race, they were talking about sex, about social injustice, pollution, and more. But mostly, they were talking about the Vietnam War. And as their awareness began to increase, they were drawn to ideals, a tradition of peace, of Gandhi and Christ and Martin Luther King. Lenin's Give Peace a Chance was the anthem they could sing. Oh, the decades rolled by and the century turned. There were lessons forgotten, there were lessons unlearned. And the masters of war were back in command, waving the flag in their iron-fisted hand, fanning the flames of fear and of greed, blind to the suffering, blind to the need. What madness possesses the collective mind? Do they think of the world they'll be leaving behind? Oh, you tired old hippies. Now what can you say? Just light up some incense, make it all go away. Oh, you tired old hippies. Now what made you think this crazy world wouldn't drive you to drink? Well, he still plays guitar, and he still loves the blues, his old hiking boots are his favorite shoes. And he likes to go driving away from the town, get out on a trail and go round and around. Oh, he walks through the mountains, he walks by the seas, he loses himself in the afternoon breeze. He sits in the silence, he closes his eyes and waits for the stars to appear in the skies. And she still has her lace and her calico, her beads and her sandals, and wouldn't you know, a dab of patchouli on fine summer days, a dreamy expression crosses her face. Then she places a flower behind her left ear with a sideways glance as she passes the mirror. She smiles a smile, both gentle and serene. Oh, it's all just as good as it ever has been. Lovely old hippies, still dreaming free. I follow them down the path to the sea. Lovely old hippies, don't fade away. Help me remember my younger days. My younger days. My younger days. Thank you so much. I'm feeling some of you were there too.
You think?
Straight boy.
The whole room, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you a little story about back in the hippie days. I think the year was 1971 or so. And I was on a hitchhiking tour with my friend Paul, Judy and Sherry, you know Paul. And we'd been up seeing some friends in Santa Cruz. And we decided we were going to head down to San Luis Obispo to see some other friends. And of course, I think it was probably in November or December. It was November, absolutely. And we didn't ever think to check the weather report before we headed out hitchhiking. We just headed out. We had cardboard guitar cases, and I don't know. We didn't even have a backpack. I don't know what we were doing. But we thought, oh, it only takes a few hours to hitchhike down to San Luis Obispo. And we started getting some rides, and we got down to Carmel, a little past Carmel, just beautiful, and it started raining. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained. We had no umbrella, we had no raincoats. We were just drowned rats by the side of the road with our cardboard guitar cases. And along came a Volkswagen van. Now, I don't know if any of you hitchhiked back in those days, but it was such a welcome sight. And it pulled over, and they opened up the doors, and there wasn't much room in there, and we were just a mess. But they had, like, you know, Indian bedspreads hanging from the from the sides of the wall. There was incense burning, and we climbed in there, and with our guitar cases, and they said, well, we'll give you a ride, but play it for us. We said, fine. So we started playing some songs by the Incredible String Band. I mentioned them in the Hippies song. They're not the best known group from the 60s, but to us they were like the best. And these people knew them, I mean, didn't know them personally, but they loved them. They were from a Buddhist commune up in Oregon, and they were traveling. And so, anyway, it was like this is like, it's almost like a bad hippie movie, but it really happened. And so we traveled the several hours drive through the pouring rain from Carmel down to San Luis Obispo, and the whole time Paul and I played Incredible String Band songs for them, including the next two I'm going to do for you here. This is a song called First Girl I Loved. First girl I love, time has come, I'll sing you the sad goodbye song. When I was 17, I used to know you, but I haven't seen you now since minutes the short year. And the last I seen you said you joined the Church of Jesus, but me, I remember your long red hair falling on our faces as I kissed you. I want you to know I just had to go. Want you to know you just had to grow. You're probably married now, with kids and all, and you turned into a grown-up female stranger. And if I was lying near you now, I wouldn't be here at all. Now we parted so hard, me rushing round Britain with a guitar, making love to people that I didn't even like to see. Oh, and I would think of you, how mean in the 6 I'm morning, and in the lonely midnight, trying to hold your face before me. But I want you to know, just had to go. Want you to know, you just had to grow. You're probably married now, kids, the car, and all, and you turned into a grown-up female stranger. If I was lying near you now, I just have to fall. Well, I never slept with you, for we must have made love 1,000 times. But we were just young, didn't have no place to go. Yes, and in the white hills, and beside many a long altar, you have gathered flowers, they do not smell for me. I want you to know I just had to go. I want you to know you just had to grow. Goodbye. fine. Well, I have me a sweet woman, maybe someday to have babies by me. She is pretty, she's a true friend of mine. I sung this song by Robin Williamson, who I did the opening song, the tune I hear so well. If you ever get a chance, you want to just have a musical adventure, check out Robin. So much stuff. Here's another song from the incredible string band from his partner, Mike Heron. And it's called the Hedgehog Song.
I love
I'm not the kind to complain, I never had a girl to love. Many fine girl I tried hard to know, but I think I've never tried a love. Sitting one day by myself, I'm thinking what could be wrong, when this funny little hedgehog comes running up to me, and he starts out to sing me this song. Oh, you know all the words, you sung all the notes, but you never quite learned the song she sung. I can tell by the sadness in your eyes, you never quite learned the song. Every day when the sun goes down and the evening is so very still, many fine girls I've held in my arms, and I hope there's many more that I will. But just when everything is going fine and absolutely nothing is wrong, this funny little hedgehog is always around, and every time he wants to sing me this song. Oh, you know all the words and you sung all the notes, but you never quite learned the song she sung. I can tell by the sadness in your eyes that you never quite learned the song. One day when the moon was full, I thought I might settle down, find myself a pretty little girl and stop all me running around. But just when the preacher come along, he's just gonna pop on the ring, this funny little hedgehog comes running down the aisle, and I don't have to tell you what he did sing. Oh, you know all the words and you sung all the notes, but you never quite learned the song she sung. I can tell by the sadness in your eyes, you never quite learned the song. I'm not the kind to complain, I never had a girl to love. Many fine girl I tried hard to know, but I think I've never tried love. So I guess I'll be looking all my days, cause it isn't just me I've got to please. Cause this funny little hedgehog is always around, the only words he ever sings to me are these. All the words and you sung all the notes, but you never quite learned the song she sung. I can tell by the sadness in your eyes, you never quite learned the song. But I'm not the kind to complain. Tell you something about the incredible string band. First of all, I love the hedgehog song. I'm going to check my little, I made a little list here to remind me of what I had intended to play. Sometimes I forget these things. Oh, yes. Now Now I had, I always try to, if I have any opportunity to plan a show, I try to plan it on the time of year and the kind of weather we're having and stuff, and I think it's kind of cool. And with all the kind of cold, rainy, damp weather, as I was anticipating tonight's show, I thought, oh, it's going to be another one of those cold, rainy nights. People will be coming in all bundled up. And so I thought of this particular song. As it turned out, the day was absolutely gorgeous. It was beautiful. And I caught me unprepared. So we're going to have to go with the program. This is a traditional song called I'm a Rover. And it's a song that, it's Scottish in origin. But it's one of those songs, the story is so compelling. There's been many, many different versions of it done over the years. And so I decided to jump on the bandwagon. I kind of made my own version of this song. And it's about this guy that takes off on this cold, damp winter's night to find his true love. And so it goes. I'll be playing this on my mandocello. I know people are always curious. It's in the mandolin family, but it's the cello of the mandolin family. As a mandolin is to a violin, mandocello is to a cello. Well, I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover of high degree. It's when I'm drinking, I'm always thinking how I might gain her company. Oh Lord, the night is dark as dungeon, not a star is seen above. I'll take the road now, without a stumble, to the arms of my love. I come up to her bedroom window, kneeling gently on the stone. I whisper softly in her window, darling girl, are you alone? She lifts her head from her pillow with her arms around her breast, saying, who is that at my window, disturbing me from my rest? I say, my darling, my sweet darling, open the door and let me in, where I have traveled a long night's journey, and I'm drenched to my skin. She opens the door without a murmur. She opens the door, she lets me in. Inside we kiss, embrace each other, till the morning we lay as one. The day is dawning, the cockerel crowing, birds are singing on every tree. It's fairly well, love, I must leave you when the sunrise is calling me. And I'm a rover, seldom sober. I'm a rover of high degree. It's when I'm drinking, always thinking how I might gain her company, how I might gain her company.
Gracias.
But see, when you sit close enough to the audience, you hear those kind of comments made.
Scoundrel, huh? She knows him.
Okay.
Oh my.
Okay. I'm gonna shift the scene here, because I was seeing myself. I was seeing Scotland during that song, or maybe parts of Ireland. But now we're gonna bring it a little closer to home, because another one of my great loves is the Southwest. I was born in Arizona, and I've just always loved Arizona and New Mexico and being out in that area. And so I've written a few songs about that. I'm gonna do a couple of them for you right now. First one's called Things I've Always Known. And this just kind of occurred to me, like, Sherry and I were traveling. This is back, a few years ago. We were in New Mexico for a while, then we came over to Arizona, and it was just a spectacular journey. I mean, it's like we visited because Sherry is an anthropologist, and she's very connected with the Indian tribes, and we visited the Navajo. We went up on the Hopi Mesas. I don't know if you've ever been up on the Hopi Mesas in Arizona. Talk about a trippy place to go. And just watching this stuff and talking to the people and listening to the people. And then drove through a spectacular thunderstorm going down into Tucson during the monsoon season. And anyway, all these things sort of turned into this song called Things I've Always Known. Whoops, I gotta... detune it. Sound of the high wind, clear light in the thin air, the dry scent of pinon and juniper. Things I've always known, things I've always known, things I've always known. Always known. Red ant and black beetle, lizard the color of sand, the high-sounding hawk, the dry-throated raven. Things I've always known, things I've always known. Things I've always known, always known. Mirage on the highway, sounds on the radio, thunder and lightning, flash floods the arroyo. Things I've always known, things
worship the sun, desire the rain, were moved by the wind again and again. Things I've always known, things I've always known, things I've always known. Always know. Another trip to New Mexico. We were staying at the Governor's Inn in Santa Fe, which is a really charming little hotel there. It's charming. They have this tradition every afternoon at 4 o'clock. You go down to the lobby. They serve sherry and shortbread. I mean, it's very civilized. Very nice. So we were there. It was actually like in April, and a weather front came in, and we actually had snow. And it was very, very enchanting. And the snow came on a day when we were going to drive up the highway to Taos and go to the Taos Pueblo. We were visiting up there. And we've got these wonderful pictures of like the snow swirling around the Pueblo there. And it was a great day, and it turned into this song, which basically says the thing that's always true, that everything we've been through, everything we've experienced, everything we know, all leads up to the moment we're in right now. So. On the highway to Taos, and they're forecasting snow. The air smells of wood smoke. 10 times long ago, there's a feeling of peace. There's a light on the land. There's a storm in the sky over the Rio Grande. Remember the music, remember the sound. We opened our eyes, there was love all around. And who was the singer? And what was the song? Something so real, we knew that it couldn't be wrong. Oh look, my love, the snow is beginning to fall. So why do my eyes fill with tears? It's only the beauty of being alive, and something about the passage of years. This is the morning, oh this is the day. We've come through so much for so long, to be here together this way. And the earth is the singer, and the sky is her song. And the sound of the wind and the water, the music that moves us along. Oh look, my love, the snow is beginning to fall. So why do my eyes fill with tears? It's only the beauty of being alive, and something about the passage of years. On the highway to Taos, and they're forecasting snow. The air smells of wood smoke. 10 times long ago, there's a feeling of peace. There's a light on the land. There's a storm in the sky over the Rio Grande. feels like a dream, driving this highway again. Yes, it feels like a dream. Thank you so much. I'm going to do one more song, then we'll have our intermission. And